Man, I really wish I had the best trail camera in the world. Oh wait, I do. It's an Exodus trail camera, guys. Do you want one? We're gonna give one away. Simple as this. Like our videos, subscribe to our channel, and comment for extra entries. If you're a subscriber, long-term subscriber, you know the drill. You know how this works. If you're new, that's how you do it. Simple as that. We're gonna give one of these bad boys away. If you want to win, like, comment, and subscribe. Free camera? Why not?
Well, guys, I'm going to say it. I've said it once. I've said it twice. I've said it 3 times. I'm not a fan of hinge cutting, guys, in most scenarios. There's a time, there's a place for every given timber stand improvement method, guys. And I want to take a little bit of time out of my hunt today, since we're dealing with some horrible windy conditions, to talk about hinge cutting, because let's face it, it's late season for me right now, but the time of the year in which we put in the work and really create better properties is coming. Okay, and if you're interested in doing that, head over to whitetaillandmanagementservices.com, shoot me a message. Okay, we're doing visits right now, very few and far between. At the very least, we can get you on the books for next year, because we are probably darn near booked up at this point. Otherwise, head over to vortexoptics.com. Use code WLM20, get yourself some money off of any Vortex apparel, and think of some sweet stuff. Otherwise, go to eurooptic.com, like European, eurooptic.com, code WLMS VTX10 will get you money off Vortex Optics over there. But let's get into it. So I've made videos in the past, hinge cutting sucks, and we've talked about other timber stand improvements, and there's a time and a place for those, but I'm almost even backtracking on some of those in which some are better than others, because, and I'll put it this way, they might be, but there's a time and a place for them. Okay, the reason I strongly dislike hinge cutting is maybe not so much the practice, but the fact that some people lean on it so heavily, they don't factor out other options, what other options they might have. It might be just a lack of education. And hopefully, before you hinge cut your property, before you try and create strategic bedding and all these places, you watch this video, and we can kind of go over the reasons why you should, shouldn't, maybe should, or at the end of the day, just maybe go a different route. So here's the thing. Here's the thing with hinge cutting, guys. Hinge cutting sucks for a lot of reasons. And I hate to be so brutal and blunt by saying it sucks, but I mean, there's a lot of downfalls to it. Are there perks? Absolutely. The perks being, we open up the canopy, the sunlight hits the forest floor, we start new regeneration, and now we have way more habitat at the deer's level. It is an instantaneous, quick way to get habitat changed and created at the deer's level. I agree with that. I know that, guys, but it's not the best long-term option. Why is that? Well, first and foremost, there is a danger to it. I don't care how good you are with the saw, stuff can happen. Some of you are rolling your eyes right now. We've all seen the videos. It's dangerous. It can be dangerous. So if you don't know what you're doing, don't go and try and figure it out now. At least go out there with a handsaw and do it on smaller trees if you're going to try it. But the real issue with hinge cutting is it takes maintenance. Don't think that you're going to go in there and hinge cut something, make the best bedding area in the world, and it's going to be good forever, okay? Because here's what happens. When you go in and you make a hinge cut, and ideally you hinge cut the correct way, and you do it at waist height, just for safety reasons, eventually you open that canopy and the sunlight hits that forest floor, and there's new regeneration that takes place. Well, at the point of that sprout, or where that cut is made, there will be a sprout of trees and suckers that will come up, okay? And they will explode within 2 to 3 years, because now there's new sunlight. But after 3 to 4 years, you've created another canopy, especially during the growing season when it starts to flourish and grow. So what did we do? We kind of just recreated what the issue already was. Yes, we had some good habitat for a couple of years, but it's going to take maintenance. So now you're rehinging the hinge, and next thing you know, you're rehinging the hinge for the 3rd time. And it's so crazy tangled in there that it's not even really accessible. And that's the other thing about hinge cutting, guys. Don't think you can just go in there and do it and you're going to love it. It needs to be strategic. You need to create almost trails through it. And it gets to be just too much, okay? It gets to be too much. So that's one of the main reasons I strongly dislike it. I mean, yeah, there's safety involved, but as far as habitat goes, it's just maybe not the best option. So if I had to really bring up what my personal preference is for timber stand improvement, and it's different on every property, it truly is, guys. And so don't think that you can't hinge cut. I probably recommend it 5% of the time on properties when I'm making visits. But so it's a time and a place for you. But one of my favorite things is just simply cutting down timber, removing timber, opening up the canopy as a whole, and starting that new regeneration from the ground level. Now, when we do hinge cutting, we're restarting at waist height because that's where we made the cut. Sure, there will be new regeneration on the ground as well because we did open the canopy some, But you got to realize that there's all that stuff that's still growing because the Cambium layer of the tree stays intact. And if the Cambium layer of the tree stays intact, the tree keeps growing outward. It's still blocking a lot of stuff. So I understand that. But if we just give it a fresh cut, flush cut trees, take them out, remove them. Now the ground, everything takes place at ground level. The new regeneration starts. After you do the timber stand improvement, in this case, what I would 100% recommend doing is burning. None of you are doing it, and you need to. It is the single most important probably habitat improvement that you can make on a property, guys. So if you burn the leaf litter off of the ground. And if you burn the leaf litter off, the sun can directly hit the forest floor, create new regeneration from dormant seeds that have been in the seed bank for many years. So now we're adding diversity, and we can burn every couple of years and create new fresh vegetation for these deer to spend time in, bed in, and even just forage on. So if I had to create a better option than hinge cutting, sure, we could talk about knurling trees. We could talk about hinge cutting. We could talk about the hack and squirt method. There's a time and a place for all of them. I've said in other videos that one might be better than the other. That could be true, but it's definitely situational. So you got to take these things with a grain of salt. Really look at your situation. If you're just hinge cutting to hinge cut and you don't understand the types of timber on your property, you don't understand the value in timber that you have on your property, you should probably hold off. Especially if you have a considerable size property. You got a 40, you got a 20, 60, 100 acres. There's probably better options for you, maybe options that are going to put money in your pocket, all while creating better habitat. The thing that sucks about hinge cutting and really timber stand improvement as a whole, guys, is if you do it and you do it wrong, you don't get a second chance. It's done. And you only have that property once in your lifetime. So make the most of your time. Think about hinge cutting. Think about the hack and squirt method. Think about knurling. Think about girdling trees. Think about flush cutting trees. What's best for you in your current situation? And if you don't know, ask somebody who does know. Have somebody like myself out to your property. It doesn't need to be Brett Smith from Whitetail Land Management Services, but get somebody that's knowledgeable about timber stand improvement for deer habitat. Maybe not a forester. So if you get somebody like that out there, honestly, the investment could save you tens of thousands of dollars. You think I'm making this up? It happens to tens of dozens of times on a yearly basis on client visits. Oh, I'm thinking about hinge cutting. I'm thinking about hacking and squirting. I'm thinking about doing all these things. Don't. If you don't know for sure, don't do it. There may be better options. I'm going to be frank with you. You might be pissing away a lot of money, time, and effort. So at the end of the day, guys, hinge cutting sucks. Hack and squirt could suck. There's a lot of different timber stand improvement methods that just might not be ideal for your property is what it comes down to. So if you don't know, don't do it because you can't get it back. So if you guys like these quick tips, you like these videos, you like everything we're doing over on the channel, hit that subscribe button. It's going to only benefit you. We're doing giveaways constantly. And if you're subscribed to our channel, you have a better chance of winning. That's your only chance of winning. So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, guys. See you next video.